Hello everyone, my name is TJ Blaque. Today I'm going to be talking about a great book that I finished reading recently called A Life in Parts by Bryan Cranston. If some of you guys aren't familiar with who this guy is, he's an actor. He's mostly known for the shows Malcolm in the Middle as Hal, the dad, and Malcolm in the Middle, great show, great sitcom, family comedy that I grew up watching as a little kid. A lot of people were introduced of Bryan Cranston or with Malcolm in the Middle or his small role in Seinfeld, because I know he was on that show. I did watch Seinfeld. Seinfeld is a really good show. I like Jerry Seinfeld. It's funny. And he was on that show. He played a doctor from what I remember. He was like a small role at first. The first episode he was in, it was just supposed to be like a one-off side character, like guest starring role, and then everyone loved him in Seinfeld, and then he got a few more episodes, but he wasn't like a long recurring character. He was just in a few episodes. But anyways, this book is really interesting. Unlike most biographies of actors that a lot of times is like celebrities, a lot of times like a lot of biographies of celebrities could be just kind of like shit we already know from like the media, and like, you know, just been there, done that information. With this book, you learn a lot of stuff about Bryan Cranston's childhood that I didn't even know about, because I'm a huge Bryan Cranston fan. I grew up with Malcolm in the Middle, and Breaking Bad is one of my favorite shows of all time, man. I fucking love Breaking Bad, man. As well as Walter White, fucking A.K. Heisenberg. Man, fucking iconic fucking show. I go on about this show all day. Like his iconic lines, like this one great line he has in season 4 where he's talking to Skylar. He says, "I am the one who knocks. A guy opens his door and you think that of me? No." Fucking great scene, man. Fucking iconic actor. And also another scene in the last season where this him and Jesse Pinkman played by Aaron Paul and Mike played by Jonathan, fuck, why did I forget his last name? It's Jonathan, but he's a great actor. They're in the desert and trying to negotiate with these guys. I think it's like a drug deal, making a deal, and then, you know, this guy says, "Who the fuck are you? Who are you?" And then Walter says, "Say my name, Heisenberg." You're goddamn right. Yeah, but you're fucking great show. You go on that show all day. I'll definitely do a review on this Breaking Bad series someday, because I would say like Breaking Bad and Trailer Park Boys are two of my favorite series to watch on Netflix. I love both of those shows. They're the most rewatchable shows too. I could rewatch those shows every fucking year and get so much out of them that you don't even know the first time watching. Fucking just phenomenal, man. I'm a huge fan of Bryan Cranston. But yeah, this book goes in his childhood, which he had a very tough upbringing growing up. As a little kid, his father was actually an actor, but he was a failed actor. His father was a struggling actor, and he neglected his kids because all he cared about was fame and making money in the entertainment industry. He didn't care about his kids, and then, you know, he had a falling out with Bryan Cranston's mom, and then, you know, he left the family when Bryan Cranston was a kid. He was only like he was very young. He was about like 6, 7. He was a very young kid when his father left him, because Bryan Cranston had siblings. He had an older brother who was also an actor at one point, and he also had a sister when she didn't even know the father that well at all when he left. She was the big old baby. But anyways, he struggled as a kid. He had low self-esteem issues, similar to me, but, you know, different upbringing. And his mom became very, very negative and toxic, and she became an alcoholic. She started drinking, and she started, like, you know, being miserable and being hateful because, you know, of what happened with her and Brian's mom, you know, Brian's dad. You know, that relationship not working out at all. And then, you know, Brian, when he got older, like a young adult, he actually studied to be a cop. In his young adult years, he actually didn't want to be an actor for his whole childhood, because of his father. He really despised his father, you know, and because of him, his father wanted to be an actor. Brian, at that point in his life, he just had no interest in being an actor. That wasn't he had no desire acting. He just, you know, he decided he wanted to be a cop, joined the police force. And he actually was close to being a cop. And then one day, sometime during the 70s, late 70s, he was like in his early 20s, 22, 23, he decided to go on a road trip with his brother. And he even said it in the book, and the audiobook as well, and he narrated the audiobook. He did a phenomenal fucking job. One of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to on Audible. I highly recommend you guys listen to the audiobook if you guys check out the book, because it makes the experience even more rewarding if you listen to him describing his childhood and all the setbacks and roadblocks he had to go through, you know, in his childhood, his personal demons, and even like as an adult. And you know, a lot of interesting stuff. Anyways, man, after he did that road trip, he actually decided he wanted to be an actor, and then he started acting in like the early 80s. But he was a very struggling actor. He had like very bit parts in TV shows, and a lot of those shows got canceled. And in the 80s, he had like, you know, troubles with relationships, past romantic relationships not working out. Like a woman, I remember he mentioned he got involved with a woman. They had a relationship for a few years, and then she wanted to have kids, but he was way too young. He was in his 20s. He was way too young to have kids, so that relationship didn't last forever. But he did say later on in his life, when he became successful, you know, the man who he is today, he actually, you know, talked to her again, so that's nice. But there's this one woman who is crazy. He'll explain it when you guys read the book. But there's this one woman who was crazy bitch who stalked him. He had a stalker in the 80s, and that experience really did affect him for a while. And then the late 80s, sometime during the mid 80s, he met this woman named Robin, and she changed his life for the better. She actually supported him all the way with his acting, because he was still a struggling actor. He wasn't really making a lot of money, putting much food on the table. He was a struggling actor. He did it purely for the passion, and he worked his fucking ass off, man. And Bryan Cranston, man, he's a phenomenal actor today, but he spent decades of just being an unknown actor, just working his ass off, getting like the small bit roles and these unsuccessful TV shows. And it really wasn't until the 90s where he got a little bit more work, but even then he was like still struggling to get leading roles, really. Honestly, it wasn't until Malcolm in the Middle. And Malcolm in the Middle, when he did that, he was in his 40s. He was 44 when that show came out. That show came out when a year I was born, 2000. But they filmed that show in 1999, the year prior, 1999, 1998. So he was like in his early 40s, still young, but he did take a while to be successful. And even with Malcolm in the Middle, he wasn't like getting huge parts in big blockbuster movies. He wasn't a movie star because of Malcolm in the Middle. He was a TV star. Like, he became way more well known in television, and that role got him more parts in TV shows. And he even had like a part in How I Met Your Mother. I remember that. It was a funny role. But it really wasn't until Breaking Bad. Like, Breaking Bad, when that came out, he was in his 50s. He was already 52. They filmed that show, and like they filmed the first season, the first couple episodes. The pilot episode they filmed in 2007, so he was like 50, 51, so he didn't really become a huge star until his 50s with that show. That catapulted his career hugely. And this is just a fucking really fascinating book. Just him talking about his struggles, and just being passionate and just be consistent and patient with yourself. And like, he talked about really relatable stuff, like his mental health, him going through all these struggles of rejection and just failure, constant failure. And he gave a lot of great speeches in like the audiobook and even in the book, talking about just believing yourself and just doing the work, and don't expect success to come overnight. If you want to be successful and be happy, achieve greatness, and be very happy about your life and do things that you're passionate about, you have to be willing to fail and take the rejection and work your ass off years and years. And not everybody could be a success overnight. There's people who take years or decades to be famous. Like, even there's another great examples, like Morgan Freeman. He didn't become famous until his 50s. Like, honestly, before Driving Miss Daisy, who the fuck knew who Morgan Freeman was, man? Like, that's not disrespectful to Morgan Freeman. He's a phenomenal actor. I love Morgan Freeman. Before Driving Mrs. Daisy, before that movie, and before that movie, who knew who he was? And even before Lean on Me, like, he was great in that as well. That came out around the same time. Before those two films in the late 80s, who knew who Morgan Freeman was? He was still an unknown, struggling actor. And even Samuel L. Jackson, he didn't become famous until Pulp Fiction. That's when his career catapulted as well. He became a huge star because of that. I mean, before that, he was doing some roles in, like, Spike Lee movies. I know he had a supporting role in Jungle Fever when he played a junkie. I watched that. That was a really good film. For him was the Snipes. But before Pulp Fiction, he was, like, getting very small roles. So, I mean, there's a lot of those guys I respect a lot because they did the hustle. They worked their asses off for years, man. And they just kept at it, even when people told them they were gonna fail. Like, honestly, Bryan Cranston, when he was starting out, like, before he met his wife, who he's still married to today, no one believed in him, honestly. Like, he had exes who were toxic as fuck, who constantly stalked him. Like I mentioned, actually was a crazy bitch. I think she passed away, but she was crazy. And, like, his parents neglected him. Like, after his father left the family, his mom didn't really pay much attention. His mom was just an alcoholic who was just bitter about the world, and he just had him and his brother, and, his sister went on to do her own thing. She had no desire to be in the entertainment industry. Brian, I mean, at least he had his brother, and they supported each other, but, like, his parents didn't really teach him stuff about life lessons or anything like that, really. But, man, like, he's a very passionate and gifted actor, man. Like, he is just phenomenal. If I have to go on, like, fucking for hours about how much I respect and love this guy. This is one of the actors I want to meet. Like, there's most celebrities I don't really have much interest in meeting, to be honest, but him, Samuel Jackson, and Morgan Freeman, I would love to meet these guys, someday. I know they're up there in age, especially Morgan, but yeah. And also Bryan Cranston, it's his birthday, man. Like, I'm recording this a day before his birthday. His birthday is going to be in an hour and a half, but I'm going to try to upload this tomorrow. But happy 69th birthday, Bryan Cranston. You're probably never going to watch this video because you're really famous and you're busy. You're a very busy actor. You're one of the hardest working actors of all time. And, man, I just want to say, you're a fucking phenomenal actor, man. You're one of my biggest inspirations ever, man. Just, that's not just as an actor, not as just as a great actor, but as a person, a human being. You are just a wonderful fucking person. You're a national treasure, man, and you deserve all the success you've gotten in your life. And I know you're like, it took you a while to be successful, but the hard work and years of dedication paid off, man. So, my hat's off to you, man. Salute. Fucking phenomenal actor, man. A huge fan of you, man. If I met him, I have so much to say. And, like, all the cast members of Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul, Billy Jesse, Bob Odenkirk, Saul, even Skyler. A lot of people hate Skyler. Guy who plays Mike, Hank, Gus. The list goes on, man. Better Call Saul's a phenomenal show, man. I gotta review that too. But yeah, this is just such an excellent book, man. If you're a fan of this dude, check this book out. Like, even if you're the least bit curious, you will not regret reading this. It's such an interesting read. Like, out of all the biographies, memoirs I've read of celebrities, this is probably the best one I've read so far. I like the Sidney Poitier one and the Gene Wilder one. That was good too, but I remember not finishing that one. And same with the Michael J. Fox one. They were really good. I just didn't finish them, and it's been a while, but I gotta reread them. But this is a really great book, man. Like, from start to finish, I was really engaged in what he was talking about, and just learning about his life, and even, like, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and just, him being grateful. Like, he's a humble dude. He's not one of those, like, celebrities. He's not like a Steven fucking Seagal who's very, like, bitter and, like, egotistical and thinks he's better than everybody else, and someone who's very, like, narcissistic and just talk shit about people behind their backs. Bryan Cranston is not like that. He even says he can't work with people who have egos, celebrities, actors who don't want to challenge themselves, and they just care about being the stars. They care about being famous, and they just care about all the attention seekers. He can't stand people who aren't in it for the passion and hard work and creativity. And he even mentions, like, his roles, he needs to, like, add some flavor to it. He has to, like, you know, he likes to come up with ideas and creative input, and he likes to seek that input from the people he works with, like fellow castmates, you know, directors, writers. He's not someone that's just gonna read a script robotically and not add anything to it, because I know there's directors out there who don't like rehearsing. They like to just do one takes. I heard Clint Eastwood's like that. I heard Clint Eastwood, from a lot of his movies, he's a one take director. And, you know, Bryan Cranston doesn't really flow like that. He prefers to do multiple takes to challenge himself and to understand the character's mindset. You know, where's the character's headspace? Even the way the character, you know, moves, like Walter White, he really channeled that. He became Walter White. He channeled that. I mean, I guess you could say he's a method actor, yeah. But he did channel that. He likes to challenge himself, not just, you know, verbally, but, you know, also physically as an actor too, man. Because he did put on weight when he played Walter White. He did put on some weight, especially in, like, that. You could tell in the pilot when he wore those undies. Yeah, I remember Jesse Pinkman made a joke about that. That was so funny, man. I gotta review Breaking Bad someday. But yeah, this review is longer than it needed to be, but I just wanted to gush about how much I love this book. And like I said, anyone that's watching this, I have many friends who are a fan of Bryan Cranston from, you know, they know him from Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad. I fucking love those two shows, especially Breaking Bad. But if you're at least bit curious, I highly recommend this book. For me, I thought it was fucking phenomenal. I didn't think it was boring at all. I thought I went at a great pace, and it's only 200 something pages. For me, I don't care. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was excellent, man. I thought it was just brilliantly crafted, brilliantly written, and just well spoken from Bryan Cranston. He's a fucking legend. 10 out of 10. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my review, me just gushing about how much I love this book. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Hope you all have a good night, and you know, a good day, and also, you know, a good weekend. If you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. This is TJ Blaque signing off. Good night, everyone. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.